Joe Biden had his own irredeemable, deplorable moment today. We're going to show you what he said. Oh, Governor Cuomo, for a full hour on my radio show today, we patched up some differences. More importantly, how do we open New York City? How do we get Yankee Stadium open? How do we get, the Jets and Giants and the Meadowlands playing? I have my own thoughts. I'll share them with you. But I got a definitive answer from the governor also on this question. Does this statement hold for you? If nominated, I will not accept. If drafted, I will not run. If elected, I will not serve. All right. This is what we call a tease, the answer later in the show. But first, let's get to the major news from the president. Earlier today, he unveiled, finally, we can hopefully move on. It is the federal government's three-phase plan to reopen America again, starting as early as May 1st, but actually earlier in some places. South Dakota never closed at all. Even their restaurants stayed open. Take a look.
Based on the latest data, our team of experts now agrees that we can begin the next front in our war, which we're calling opening up America again. And that's what we're doing. We're opening up our country. Our national shutdown is not a sustainable long-term solution. To preserve the health of our citizens, we must also preserve the health and functioning of our economy. Over the long haul, you can't do one without the other. My administration is issuing new federal guidelines that will allow governors to take a phased and deliberate approach to reopening their individual states.
Now, you also have to remember, I'm in New York, Long Island, hardest hit in the country. Thanks to farmers, they didn't shut down. Those that box up all their items, dairy, everything in between, they didn't shut down. Truckers, they got honored rightly at the White House earlier today. We'll get more on that in a second. Those medical supplies, they didn't shut down. Pharmaceuticals didn't shut down. Those that build the masks and the gloves and the gowns and the respirators and the ventilators, they all were working. The whole country didn't shut down. Now, the details of this plan include what will be a data-driven, multi-layered model which allows governors to react to their own state and their unique circumstances. For example, as we talked a lot about, densely populated New York City will not be on the same timeline as Montana or South Dakota, which never shut down anything. Instead of a nationwide schedule, well, the president's plan is broken into three phases. In order for a state to begin the three-step process, it has to satisfy federal guidelines surrounding hospital capacity, ventilators, available personnel, protective gear, masks, gloves, gowns, etc. This is now also in the hands of governors. Governors, wake up, a lot of you. Some of you are asleep. Do your job. They are now asked for the ability to make these decisions. They got it. You now have the responsibility. And if the president and his task force see that you're messing up and hot spots are emerging, they will come down hard on you. Phase one recommends continued restrictions on non-essential travel. It discourages social gatherings of 10 or more people, calls for Americans to continue to work from home whenever possible. Phase one also recommends large venues like restaurants, movie theaters, even gyms. They can reopen, but you got to use very strict physical distancing protocols, and that would mean a lot of Purell, a lot of wipes. If the COVID-19 curve remains flat, states can then move to phase two. That phase, schools can reopen, non-essential travel can continue, bars can reopen with limits on occupancy. Bars are going to be tough. Ultimately, the last step, phase three, that would lift staffing restrictions in the workplace. It would also lift distancing restrictions on bars and restaurants. That allows visits to senior care facilities and hospitals to begin again. Each phase of the plan to get Americans back to work will take extra precautions now, especially in a place like New York City. Now, you got this very small geographic area, largest concentration of people, 11 million people. It's a difficult task. Governor Cuomo of New York was on my radio program for an hour today. We talked at length about all of this. I shared my views, he shared his, but it'll take a little more work in a place like New York City. Take a listen.
There's going to be a phasing in, and it is going to be different. I don't know, different worse. It might even be different better, but it's going to be different. Look, this is going to do what 9/11 did, right? If I ever told you before 9/11, you would have to take off your shoes when you go to an airport and walk through a metal detector on a line and have them go through your bags, people would say, no how, no way. But 9/11 changed our orientation. This is going to change our orientation. And people are going to want to change it. People want to be safe, first of all.
Now, it's 'cause some of this is annoying as hell. Nobody wants to wear gloves and a mask. But for the time being, we're also doing it for the people that are most vulnerable. Underlying conditions, compromised immune systems. Now, over the past several days, New York has seen, thankfully, finally, tremendous progress. The flattening, now the decline. The models are holding, as we hoped they would. Wednesday, total hospitalizations dropped by 600. That's the largest decrease to date. Total intubations dropped by 40. That also the largest decrease. And the death rate is starting to decline. That is the lagging indicator, as we talked a lot about. For this progress to continue in a place as densely populated as New York City, look, I know it sucks. I'll be honest. Residents there will need to take important precautionary measures. Now, if you want my plan, we'll call it the Hannity plan. To reopen New York City it'd be the following. Masks and gloves temporarily might be the new normal in New York City, even indoors. Non-essential workers, they're going to have to work from home. At least 50% of the workforce in every building in New York. 50% is the goal. Keep them working at home. That allows more social distancing, less concentration on the streets and the buildings of New York City. Digital temperature checks. They don't touch you. Put it at your forehead. Bing, 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 boom. That has to happen to everybody entering any building. It should be mandatory. Again, temporarily, if you want entrance into any building in New York City. I discussed all of this with the governor today. I want to see Yankee Stadium open. I want Citi Field, where the Mets play, open. I want MetLife Stadium in New Jersey open for the Giants and Jets. Now, this is not my decision. But now you have to start with this one thing. People most at risk with underlying health issues or compromised immune systems, guys, you shouldn't go. Not this year. You're going to have to take a year off. Every player, every trainer, every coach, every ticket taker, every food and beverage worker, anybody working in these stadiums will have to have that Abbott 5-minute test. Have to. Anyone that wants to attend a game. Now, if I have the choice attending the game or not attending the game, I'm just speaking for myself. Consult your doctor. I'm not a doctor. But you must get the temperature test to get into any Yankee Stadium. You get the temperature test. If you have a temperature, they give you information. You go to your doctor. Be safe at home. How to do contact tracing. No, can't have a database. Got to respect medical privacy. But you can't be if you have a temperature going into any even outdoor stadium. Now, temporarily, again, not the best conditions, but if it's my choice and I have to wear gloves, a mask, okay, I'll wear it. I'd rather go and wear it. If everyone else is wearing it, we can suck it up for a couple of months until things have passed. Probably can't eat popcorn because you have to keep your mask off the whole time, but you probably could eat a hot dog. You open up your respirator, take a bite, and you chew it under your mask. I have to drink my beer if I'm at a game. So if I have to use a straw and slip it in, I'll do that. Whatever it takes to get my beer. I want to have a beer. Everyone's got to make their own decision. What is your appetite for any risk? You get in a car, it's risk. You're going to have to decide, consult with your own doctor. I would rather have my temperature taken, drink beer from a straw, eat a hot dog by going like this and chewing it in a mask and not go at all. That's my decision. You make yours. Now, I'm pro-choice. I know this is not ideal, but if it's about saving the lives, especially of other people more vulnerable, and getting our economy back up and running full speed as quickly as possible, I'll suck it up. And I think a lot of New Yorkers would suck it up and want to go to the game, wear the mask and gloves. And maybe the Yankees and the Giants and Jets and Mets can make their own mask and hand them out as you go in with their emblems on it. I don't know, just an idea. Medical privacy, a must. We can't be compromised. No government databases, sorry. We have a constitution, we have civil liberties. People can decide to go or not go based on these temporary rules. I choose to go. Same with football, same with outdoor concerts, indoor events. Yeah, I think, well, you can move the New York Rangers and the Islanders to Yankee Stadium and Citi Field. They do that at least once a year anyway. Recent poll, by the way, shows that some Democrats, a majority of them, would likely support mandatory nationwide blood testing and electronic ankle bracelets for those who are sick. No, I'm not taking that. All right.